Alrighty, what is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. You're watching the daily series of Nwadei MMA, where I give you my thoughts, but more importantly, ask for yours, as you guys are the MMA community, and this community is very fast moving, so I can't keep up with it all by myself, and so I need your help. But first and foremost, how are you guys doing today? Are you doing well? I really do hope you are. We all deserve to be doing well. However, guys, UFC San Antonio just ended, and I'm in the Red Dungeon studio talking to you guys about what the hell just occurred. So the night opens up, and I want to start off by recapping CJ Vergara versus Lacedo. Is that his last name? What a fight. I mean, he's really showing people what Texas boys are all about. Born and raised in San Antonio, he fought for Fury FC, a promotion that I one day hope to fight for. He really showed his heart out there. He showed that he could take a shot. He took a big spinning hook kick from Lacedo, and the guy, yeah, he emptied the tank trying to finish him. I mean, walking him down for what is close to 2 or 3 minutes of just straight big shots. CJ Vergara is literally running away from this man, trying to get back to safety, trying to recover, trying to reset and see the shots that are coming to him. I mean, literally turning his back, running, and he ends up surviving. He ends up making it to the end of the round. The second round begins, and Lacedo goes for a takedown, ends up getting this nice calf slicer. I think he just wasn't putting enough hip into it. Lacedo, he's the kind of fighter who kind of muscles everything. I mean, I wish he would just settle down and focus a little bit more on his technique, because his technique is pretty crisp. So I wish he would settle down and kind of look to set things up, or maybe look to even use that leg transition to move to the next position. But instead, he stayed there on that calf slicer. He thought it was in. He ends up getting turned around on, getting ground and pounded, and you could tell he's visibly fatigued and gassed out, and there wasn't much that was gonna come after that. CJ Vergara ends up getting arm triangle choke and gets it very, very tight. Lacedo ends up barely just defending. I mean, he even landed some knees in that little sequence, but ended up landing some knees to the body, and from there he was just raining ground and pound, let go of the arm triangle, and just focused on consistency and activity, and eventually got the stoppage from Jason Herzog. Guys, by the way, Jason Herzog has to be one of the best referees in the game. Is he not? I mean, every time I watch a Jason Herzog fight, it's stopped when it's supposed to be stopped. All the eye pokes and groin shots, they're all stopped when they're supposed to be stopped. He almost never has a missed call, and as a referee, it's extremely hard to do that. Knowing referees and knowing what referees go through, and knowing that they don't receive any praise when they do right, but they receive a bunch of praise, but they receive a bunch of negative comments whenever they do wrong. I think it's time. I think he's earned a little bit of praise. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Jason Herzog. But how about CJ Vergara? He got off to a rocky start in the UFC, but you know, he's here. He's here, and I'm excited to see where he goes next. Another fighter I want to talk about is Maycee Barber. She got a win, I think her 4th consecutive win now, over Andrea Lee. This was good. I was a little worried about her since that rocky start to her UFC career. I mean, she got a couple knockouts, and then she got a couple wins, and then she had that knee injury. I feel like she came back maybe even a little bit too soon. She didn't look good right away from that knee injury, but now it seems like she's starting to pick it up. She's really getting some momentum. She had a close fight with Andrea Lee, a really good fighter, and Andrea Lee was ranked at 11. So I think now Maycee Barber is cracking into that top 10, because Viviane Araujo is ranked at 10. She just lost to Amanda Ribas, who is ranked at 9. I believe that they'll bump up Maycee Barber to top 10 now, and I want to see her go against even Amanda Ribas. That's usually good. Usually the UFC likes to match up a winner against another winner, so I can see her facing Amanda Ribas next, or even a Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia looked really good in her last performance, and so I'm excited to see where Maycee Barber goes from here. But I want to see her continue to take this slow road, and don't start calling people out. Don't start trying to fast track yourself, because I feel like she still needs more development before getting into that top 5, because the top 5 of the UFC women's flyweights are absolutely stacked. I mean, you got Marlon Vera with all this outside kickboxing boxing experience. You have Alexa Grasso, the new champion of the division. You have Valentina Shevchenko. Everybody knows what she's capable of. And then you have Jessica Andrade, Erin Blanchfield, and Tyler Santos. Yeah, absolutely stacked, filled with killers. Not to say that she couldn't maybe compete or have a good outing against one of them, but I just think that technically she still needs to make some improvements. She still needs to make some leaps and bounds. I can foresee her having maybe one more fight this year and just using the rest of the year to really focus on getting better. Maybe even look to explore new gyms, not to call it your new home, but just to get some more experience so that she knows what she's working against. Another fighter I want to talk about is Nate Landwehr. He ends up getting his another good win, another exciting win, to where it was a really close fight with this guy, Austin Lingo, San Antonio native. He was putting his boxing combinations together well. I think honestly he was outpointing Landwehr for the most part. Landwehr, he just looked like the more composed fighter, even though he didn't have as many boxing setups. His footwork didn't look as good, his combinations didn't look as good. He looked like he was still there. He looked like he still felt he was the better fighter. You could see it in his demeanor and in his confidence. And the moment he saw a little bit of weakness from his opponent, I mean, he just jumped on it like a shark smelling blood in the water. And when he did that, he ended up landing a couple good body kicks, really hitting the arm but also hitting the ribs as well, and ends up finishing him with a rear naked chokes. No hooks, no problem. He sunk it in without any hooks, ended up putting in hooks later. But Nate Landwehr, that was his second submission. First off, you know, what a guy, what a personality. He's a very interesting cat. I want to see him maybe face someone in the top 15 now. I know his fight with Alex Caceres got canceled. That was going to be a top 15 fight for him. So I think that, yeah, we could see that one again, and I'd be pretty satisfied. However, moving on to the co-main event, Holly Holm looked really good against Yana Kunitskaya, or well, now known as Yana Santos. I didn't think Yana was going to get the win on this one. I thought Holly Holm would get the job done, simply because I thought that Holly Holm, she's just sharper, she's quicker, she's more decisive in everything that she does, and I've never seen Holly Holm cower away from any opponent. Yana Kunitskaya, I remember my first time seeing her fight. She was an Invicta champion. She was going against Chris Cyborg for the first time, and she took the fight with Chris Cyborg, but I don't really know why she did, because she didn't look like she wanted to be there. She looked like she was maybe a little bit fearful of Chris Cyborg, which, why wouldn't you be, right? but yeah, so my point is that she just, once you know that, you know, your opponent has shown that fear, it's a little bit easier to break them, because it's constantly something you're searching for, and then the more you're searching for it, the more you're grinding, making them work, usually the more visible it's going to be when they do show it. And it's not like she ever stopped really fighting against Holly Holm. Holly Holm was just a step ahead in this fight. In the first round, it was more Yana Kunitskaya initiating the clinch exchanges. But as the fight wore on, Holly Holm, she saw that she really had the advantage in the clinch. Maybe not weight-wise, or maybe not size-wise, but in technique and in her grappling, she saw that she had an advantage. She picked it up in the second round. She took her down and then started to get her to crucifix and do a little bit of damage, mostly focusing on control. Same thing in the third round, and ends up getting another win, saying she wants to make another run at the title, and I think she could do so, simply because, yeah, Holly Holm is that girl. She's 41 years old, boxing world champion, kickboxing world champion, former UFC world champion. I mean, it looks like there's still a lot left in her, right? I mean, does she look like she's really slowing down at all? It didn't look like it to me. Maybe just in the activity portion, she didn't look like she was throwing as many strikes, but that could simply just be because she took a wrestling heavy approach and she fatigued a lot quicker than she thought she would have. However, overall, I think it was a really good performance from Holly Holm, especially coming off of that loss last year to Ketlen Vieira, in which a lot of people thought she kind of won. I think this puts her right back into that, you know, gonna be fighting top 5 fighters, and then maybe one more win and she'll get another shot at Amanda Nunes. However, now speaking about the main event. the main event that so many people felt we're gonna go, sideways. I mean, we knew that this was gonna be a close fight. We knew that it was gonna be very interesting. We knew that both of these fighters had tremendous heart, and that Chito Vera, he takes a slower approach. He tends to bring it on later. He tends to download a little bit. And we know that Cory Sandhagen, he starts off fast, and he never really fatigues in fights either. We also know that he's been working on his pressure and going forward more. We know that he's been working in the takedowns more and more every single fight. And that's kind of what we saw here. We saw him really just break down Chito Vera. The way you break down someone who uses that high guard, someone who likes a dirty fight, someone who likes to slowly build up activity in the fight. And I could break this one down for you guys if you want another video. Matter of fact, I probably am going to break this one down in a separate video, just showing you how Cory Sandhagen really broke down Chito Vera. But before I do that, I just want to talk about how good Cory Sandhagen is. I mean, the fact that Chito Vera really never knew what was coming next. I mean, Chito Vera was trying to pressure him, and then he would get taken down. That moment he would want to strike, Cory Sandhagen would keep him guessing with either a shot, multiple jabs. He would force him to use that high guard and then just pepper away at it, caught him with a few uppercuts. And he really never let Chito Vera be first, which is why I thought that he got the job done tonight. Because when you let Chito be first, or you let him start things, that's when he can really start picking it up on you. Because Chito isn't so much of a counter fighter. You kind of saw that when Cory Sandhagen was putting his combinations together, Chito was kind of backing up and keeping that high guard, not really striking back. It's because he doesn't really look for those counter openings. He more looks to set up his own shots. He's more of a guy who likes that kind of give and take battle, rather than a guy who's gonna look to intercept your strikes or use that before and during timing. And because of it, we saw Cory Sandhagen come out with the dub. Yeah, I don't know what that one judge was thinking, scoring 3 rounds for Marlon Vera. I saw 2 that might have been close. I was thinking maybe the 3rd round and the 4th round, but other than those 2 rounds, I mean, where did we see Chito Vera even have a mild version of success? He got taken down the first 2 rounds. The 3rd round, yeah, it took majority place on the feet, but I thought that Cory Sandhagen still landed more strikes. And so I don't even want to touch too much on whatever that judge was thinking, because it kind of scars the whole fight. But I think that Cory Sandhagen looked really good, and I think that he's really coming into his own now, and he's ready for a title shot, to be honest. However, I don't think he's going to be fighting Aljamain next. I think he's going to be fighting Merab like he said he wanted to. He said, "Merab, you hungry?" Okay. I mean, his post-fight speech, it was cool. It was cool. Cory doesn't genuinely like to call people out, but I thought it was a little funny. I thought that is a good fight, and he's trying to fight the people that nobody wants to fight. I mean, who wants to fight Merab, really? I mean, nobody really, but Cory Sandhagen. Nobody else is calling him out but Cory Sandhagen. And Cory Sandhagen, I think that there's a lot of reasons why he could beat Merab Dvalishvili. Merab is very good, and he knows how to use that wrestling, not so much to take people to the ground, but more to amp up that pace and that pressure and get their cardiovascular systems overwhelmed. And he's very good at what he does. However, I think the movement of Cory Sandhagen could very well serve as a problem for Merab, because there's no real entries there until maybe like the 3rd or 4th round, when Cory Sandhagen's footwork is going to slow down a little bit. But if Cory Sandhagen could get on his bike the way you saw him almost fight against Petr Yan, if he can fight like that for 5 rounds against Merab Dvalishvili, I don't see why not. I don't see a reason why he can't beat Merab. And I'm so glad that there's fighters like this in the bantamweight division. God damn it. This is why the bantamweight division is the best division in the world, or at least in the UFC, because in lightweight, you got guys not fighting back. You got guys just only waiting for a title shot, or a big name Conor McGregor money fight or whatever, and nobody is fighting. Islam's running from Beneil Dariush. Gaethje finally fought Fiziev, and I think Gaethje, yeah, he earned his right to either a title shot or a Dustin Poirier fight, which he's gonna get. However, then you got guys like Conor and Chandler fighting, and some people saying that whoever wins that is going to get a title shot. I mean, that's just the lightweight division. The welterweight division, you got Dana White saying Colby fucking Covington is going to be next for the title shot for Leon Edwards, and you got, if not Colby, then maybe Jorge if he beats Burns. And why aren't you talking about Burns? Why are you talking about Jorge? I mean, the ladder is just so fucked up in all these other weight classes. Except for bantamweight. Bantamweight, you got people like Cory Sandhagen trying to fight Merab. You got people like Petr Yan fighting Sean O'Malley. You got the ladder moving, and even though the championship was in a weird place for a while with the whole Aljamain Sterling fiasco, the contenders were still fighting each other, and we still had like a clear order and line to these things. It's not like anyone's waiting outside the top 15 not really getting the shot. And so yes, I proclaim that the bantamweight division is the best in the UFC right now. And on that note, Cory Sandhagen is one of the best bantamweights in the world, therefore one of the best fighters in the world. I think that Cory Sandhagen not only beats Merab, but I also have him beating Henry Cejudo if Henry Cejudo can get that win against Aljamain Sterling. And that is a big and tall task, but going based off of who he's fought last, Song Yadong, an absolute killer. Nobody really realizes that, but he's an absolute killer. And now Chito Vera, the person who had all the hype, the person who was just walking people down and knocking people out, he's fought those two people and looked great against both of them, and he's only getting better every single fight. If he could keep improving the things that he lacks in, or that he believes that he lacks in, because how well-rounded is he, if he could keep improving like that, then I don't really see anyone other than maybe Aljamain giving him the biggest problem and being the biggest threat towards him. Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley, mark my words, are going to be the toughest test for the Cory Sandhagen. But until then, Rob Dvalishvili, sign me up for that fight. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for stopping by today. Again, thank you for supporting my channel and the rebirth of Nwadei MMA. We're back, baby. We're back, and we're running and we're kicking. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to support my content, leave a like on this video. And of course, you're more than welcome to subscribe. And if you do choose to do so, then hit that bell icon to be notified when more videos like this one pop up in the future. With that being said, y'all stay safe and y'all stay blessed. Till next time.